Hello guys, it's Nick and welcome back to my channel and another video. Today I want to chat about unpopular opinions that I have. I'm not really sure if this is a good video to make. I mean, I've seen other people do these videos and I always thought it was really interesting because some of the unpopular opinions I agreed with, and then I felt like maybe I should come up with my own and do a video. And I don't know, because I suppose the whole premise is it's stuff that you think but you don't really say out loud much, maybe for fear of like what people are going to say or think, or I don't know, just because they're unpopular I guess in society. And so I've came up with my own little list of unpopular opinions, and yeah, let's chat about them, see what they are, and tell me what you think. It is Sunday and I'm just having such a cozy nice day. Okay, so the very first unpopular opinion, I was going to say that. No, I'm joking. Okay. Is I've actually had this thought since I remember being in school. I remember being in religion class, which is was always my favorite subject, by the way, was religion. But we used to talk about, obviously you talk about like morals, and it was like philosophy stuff, and you know, it wasn't just about religions. And I remember how we were having a discussion as a class about prisons, and like, do we think prison is like just like, is it morally like right to put human beings in prison? Anyway, no, sorry, it was actually about the death penalty. But anyway, I just remember at this time thinking about, oh, just scrap all this. Anyway, anyway, my first unpopular opinion is that I think prisons are really inhumane, and it's yeah, I just feel like there has to be some other way to punish people without just like literally just locking them in a room basically for years and years, and for the rest of their life, let's say. I just don't see how that like is the punishment that should be done. Like, obviously, okay, someone's committed a murder, rape, assault, like any crime, like of course people should be punished for them. And of course I'm not saying that prison shouldn't exist and that they should just be like allowed, you know, off scot-free. Of course not. But I think that prison is just like, I just can't even like understand how that's the course of punishment. I just don't get it. And I think that it's like, I just don't get it. I don't know. I just find it like really insane that someone came up with that. Like, okay, this person has done something awful and horrific. Like, let's just like lock them away for the rest of their life. Like, I almost feel if it was me, the death penalty would be better than being put in prison for the rest of your life. Like, is that just me? I don't know. I feel that way. I think the idea of prison is just like, I would go insane. I would rather be dead. Genuinely. I just, and as well, because, you know, taxpayers are paying, right, to keep these prisoners in the prison. Isn't that money better spent at least trying to get them like help or rehabilitated into society? Like, again, it's such a like double-edged sword, because, you know, if they've done something horrific, you know, why should we be spending our money like trying to help them, I guess. But then at the same time, we're already giving money anyway to keep them in a prison, you know. Just, I don't know, I'm just I still I don't have an answer on what the punishments should be. That's the thing. But I just think prison is so inhumane. I just don't understand why that's the course of punishment for people. I just don't agree with prison at all. But like I said, I don't have an alternative in my mind. I can understand trying to rehabilitate however many people in the world are in prison would be extremely expensive, and like, how would the world fund that too? So I don't know. I don't have the answers, but all I know is I just never agreed with the idea of prison. Like, it's almost like I would agree with the idea of death before prison. I don't know why I think that, but that's one of my unpopular opinions, I think. So this next one is for the meat eaters out there, and this is probably hypocritical because I used to eat meat like all my life, you know, only in the last like 3-4 years I became vegetarian. It definitely racks my brain. Like, I will forever not understand this mentality. But at the same time, I understand that people don't think about it deeply enough to try and understand, I guess, why they do this. But this is the fact that, why is it that society thinks like, okay, eating a cow or eating a pig or lamb, that's considered like okay and normal, but eating a dog or a cat or pet animals that people see as pets is considered like wrong and like crazy, and like, you know, because some cultures do eat dogs, for example, like in China and things like that. It's normal delicacy. Is delicacy the right word? Why isn't that normal? Like, if you're going to eat sheep or a pig or a cow, like, what is the difference? What is the actual difference between eating those or a dog? Like, there's actually no difference. I just don't get it because you have people that eat meat that like are animal lovers, but they're like selecting and choosing the animals they love, really, because they're considering like, oh, okay, well, I have a pet dog, so that's why I would never eat a dog. But do you know what I mean? It's a bit, to me, it's a bit like hypocritical. Like, it doesn't really make sense. But at the same time, when I was growing up, because no one around me was questioning that stuff, like I didn't see anyone else with that thought process, so it never came up. So you're just hardwired that way. Like, you know, oh, okay, it's normal to eat pigs, but it's not normal to eat dogs because they're like pets and we domesticate them. So most of us, you just don't know any different, and then you just go on your life thinking that. You don't really know why you think that, you just do. But once you just like, I don't know, sit down and think about it more, like once I became vegetarian, and I think like the older I get, I become more and more like I think I'm a real empathic person. I really like take on the feelings of anything around me, and I think that started happening for me. And then for me, it just like I was just like, I can't see the difference between like eating this animal versus that. Like, they're all animals, you know. So that's maybe an unpopular opinion, because I know that for people that eat meat, they do see a difference. But to me, I don't see the difference. I'm like, they're all just animals, you know. For a lot of people, it's like a subconscious thing. They haven't stepped away to think about it in depth, so it's just normal to them, you know. I don't know. Anyway, that's my second unpopular opinion. Okay, what one is next? So this next one, I feel like I believe because of my own experience, but I really think that everyone in the world should experience working in a like minimum wage job, like hospitality or, you know, anything like that, like in a restaurant, in a cafe, retail, clothes shops, whatever. Anything, any shop. I think that that experience is like completely just invaluable. Invaluable? Yeah, invaluable, I think is the word. Like, it's so valuable is what I'm trying to say. I think you learn so much about people through those types of jobs. I think it gives you a broader understanding of society and the world, and I think it just helps you grow independence as well. And I don't know why, I just feel like that is such, like, I would never take away the fact that I worked those jobs, because I learned so much about myself, about people, about how to even just interact with people. Do you know, like, I feel I was so introverted growing up and stuff, and like those jobs helped me kind of come out of myself and like just learn to kind of communicate better. For sure, with my children, I will definitely be encouraging them, you know, let's say while they're in college or um, at any point in their kind of, you know, early 20s, we'll definitely be encouraging them to take up some sort of even like part-time hospitality job. I just think the skills and the life lessons you learn in them are just, you can take through any part of life with you. I don't know, I just think it's so important, and I feel like everyone should do it, at least even for like a month in their life. I just feel like everyone should experience it. So this next unpopular opinion is that people do charity primarily to make themselves feel better, I think. And again, this is not like, of course, it's not true across the board, but I think if people actually thought deeply about why they really want to do charity work or give back to people, I think in like in many cases, it's that they want to feel good. You know, if you think about everything we do in life, it's actually just to make us feel good. Why do people care about career? Why do people, you know, want family? Why do people want children? Why do people want to get married? Why do people want money? Why do people want to go on holidays? Like, everything is a source of desire. You want something from it. Maybe you want a certain status, you want a certain kind of life, a certain kind of lifestyle. Whatever the case may be, everything we're doing is like to make us feel good and happy and enjoy our lives. So that's what I'm saying, is like, it's not that it's wrong to want to do charity work to make yourself feel good and happy. That's not wrong at all. But I think it's often like people are usually more portraying it in, oh, well, I just want to do good and I care so much and I want to give back to this for whatever reason. And those reasons can all be valid as well. Like you two things can be true, you know? But I think that if people did delve into really why they want to do those kinds of things, I think a lot of the time the actual like core reason is like they want to feel good. They want to do something good so that they feel the good reward in return. And I think that that's maybe it's a bit controversial because obviously people do care about, you know, charity and giving back, and you know that stuff's important, and some people are just generally inclined to be more that way than others. But I do think that to say that it's completely selfless is probably not true in many cases. I think that people do ultimately, they want the return of feeling good, you know, and that's a motive to do it as well. And that's literally human nature. Like that is in us biologically to seek that out, you know, to seek out to feel good. We're born to do that. So it's not wrong, but it's just interesting the way stuff like that is always spoken about is more so, well, I want to do this because I want to, you know, see such and such change, or I want to do this, but actually like really on a self level, like you're doing it to make yourself feel good. But that's not a bad thing at all. It's a win-win situation, you know, you're giving back and you're helping, but you're also feeling good about it. So keep doing it. I should do this charity work. The next one is that school is not taught well at all. And I hated school, right? And like I was good at it. Like I got really good grades 90% of the time, but I hated the environment of school. I just don't think that like like just think about how much of your life you spent in school, you know, like let's say give or take 12 years, 13 years, let's say. Um, and of course you learn insanely important things, to read, to write, you know, about science or maths or like things. What did I learn in school? No, and of course, I'm not saying I didn't learn anything in school. Of course I did, but I just think there's the way school is taught, the way knowledge is taught is there's something missing. Like, why are we, you know, going into our 20s and 30s and not understanding tax or not understanding, like, you know, school's not set up for people who want to start their own business. Where do we learn about that? You know, school is very, very cleverly designed to keep people in this same group of sameness so that everyone kind of goes roughly similar paths so that you can have, you know, more teachers or, you know, doctors or these important professions that the world needs. But but school isn't designed to cater to those who want to go on a different path, or you know, you have to just kind of figure that out yourself, and that's fine too. But I just think stuff like taxes or legalities in life that even stuff like I think like at some point in all of our lives we're going to have to deal with the legal system in some form, like when a parent dies or just dealing with wills and things like different things like that. Most of us are going to have to deal with at some point. Why aren't we knowing about any of that stuff, you know, until it happens? Like where this is guaranteed stuff that's going to happen. Like why aren't we being told about it in school? Why aren't we learning about it? Tax again, like I'm almost like I'm almost 29. I don't understand tax. I don't get it. I don't know on my payslip what this means. I have no idea. And obviously now the onus is on me, right? I should go and learn that myself now. But still, I just don't get why this stuff isn't taught in schools. I just don't really understand. Like over a decade in school, and you know, you're learning about a lot of things that don't even, you know, you're not going to actually use in your life. Or like, why aren't we being taught about emotional intelligence in school? How to regulate your emotions, how to, you know, be a good communicator, how different, like, being a human. Like, why aren't we learning about that stuff in school? I just don't get it. Those are the things that we need daily. We need to emotionally regulate ourselves. We need to, like, have emotional intelligence and awareness. Like, this stuff, you know, I think obviously you could argue then that, well, that's on the parents to instill in the child, and parent into the child, I guess. But I think that, why are we learning about like trigonometry and not how to regulate emotions? I don't know. I just, yeah, I could talk forever about school. I've just, I've thought so much about it in my life because could not wait until the day I could leave school. It was not for me. And I was really good at it. Like, I was good at school. But I thought it was crazy. I think it's crazy even now. Like, you're just forced to go to this place. You have no say, really. Like, you just have to go. And you've no control over what information you're being told or influenced by. Everyone's just herded together, like, down the same path. So, like, you're not able to be very individualistic. I remember in school, like, you're being told, like, oh, you can't have this nose piercing, you can't, wear, you can't have your hair like this. Like, I just, what? I think school is crazy. And, of course I'm going to send my kids to school when I have them. So this all sounds silly that I'm saying it, but I'm like, I don't have a choice, unless I homeschool them myself, which, I don't know if I would be in that position to do that. And I don't think I'm a good teacher. So I don't know. I don't have the answers. I just think that it's wild. The whole concept of school is wild. And I just don't think it's taught well. I don't think we're taught the things we need to be taught as humans in school. It literally only sets us up for a job, nothing else. A job. That's it. Okay, this next one is, yes, maybe a bit controversial. I think that this is one that's more becoming present in recent years, and this is that more and more in society, we as women feel like we have more time biologically to have children. And of course, this is true in some aspects in comparison to many, many years ago, because science has advanced and there's other options now. Even if you are struggling with fertility or having, issues like that, there's IVF and surrogacy, and there's many different avenues now that you can explore if you are like older and wanting to have a child and maybe struggling or whatever the case may be. However, I almost feel like it's gone the other direction, where people are like feeling like they have much more time than our bodies do. Do you know? I think that the media and everything is pushing now that, women have until much later to have children. And yes, I think in comparison, because we have technology and we have these processes that we can check fertility levels and check egg count, and we can monitor all these things. And obviously people are having absolutely healthy, perfect children at the age of like 40, or even, in early 40s. That works for many people, and that's amazing and it's wonderful, because it allows, especially in this economy, a lot of people maybe can't afford to have children earlier, or it's obviously wise to have children when you are mentally developed, like obviously your frontal lobe, what is it? It's, I think 25, your frontal lobe isn't fully developed until. So of course it makes sense to have children when you are like fully an adult and wise and responsible and financially like able. Like I said, in this economy it's becoming more difficult. So in that sense, like having children later 100% makes sense, and it's for many people a really good decision, and I back that 100%. But I just think that it's almost going the other way, where now everyone is feeling like, oh well, I have until, 43 to have children. And like that's actually just not the reality for many women. Like I said, that works for some people, and some people have been lucky to be able to have children at that age, but it's not guaranteed. And I was watching a podcast about this, I guess she was a doctor. Sorry, I don't remember. She was like a fertility specialist anyway, but she was talking about this kind of exactly this, that like nowadays in 2025, it's like as if, oh well, I've loads of time, but like women don't. And it's almost like a thing that like people don't really want to accept or believe, because there are these other cases that like people are having children at 40 and turning out perfectly fine and healthy too. So it's, it's like there's no answer, right? But still, like when you turn 35, your egg count basically halves. Like that happens for most of us, most women. So after 35, your chances are already less to conceive, but also higher that there will be complications. And I think this is like a combination of many factors that are going into this of why women are having children later. Like I said, financially, economically. I think it's also the way people are dating nowadays is it makes it difficult for people to maybe find a partner. And I think that, you know, obviously everyone wants to have a good partner and a good relationship before they have children in most cases. But for example, like if I was, I don't know, like late, if I was like 38, let's say, and I had no partner and I had, you know, no one to have a child with, I would 100% go down the route of having a child alone via other methods rather than like not ever having a child just because I have like biologically I'm about to miss the window and I haven't met a partner, you know. And I think that that's almost like a taboo thing to say because many people want that, right? Also, many people don't want children, and that's perfectly valid as well. But I mean that the timeline for having children is going further and further back because of society, not because of like biology. You know, our bodies are still functioning the way they did, you know, 100 years ago. Obviously, we have more better healthcare, we have better services, better technology. All of that is the reason why that age is like going older and older. But um, just because that we have the technology to do that and science and IVF, like that doesn't mean that it's not a guaranteed like, oh, I can have a child at, you know, 40 years old. That's not, I just feel like that idea is becoming really, really common nowadays among women that, you know, oh well, I've loads of time, you know. But it's not necessarily true. Like I said, it can be true, and it's amazing that that does work for people and everything, but it shouldn't be taken as like, oh well, such and such had a baby when they were 40, so I have loads of time, I can wait, I can whatever. Do you know? I think that that's not like, I couldn't like have a child at that age. For me, I think like 34, 35 is like the max last age I would have a child. I think that there's other factors going into that. Like I don't want to be an older parent who has like no energy to kind of keep up with the child, and like there's so many different things into that. And also just, you know, if you imagine you're 70 and your child is not even 30 and like God forbid, you know, something happens to you, you have to be taken care of, that will significantly impact a 20 something year old's life versus a 50 something year old's life. Do you know what I mean? I just think it's interesting that like nowadays it's becoming the norm to have children much later, and that's because of advancements that we have in society. But at the same time, but biologically that's not like in alignment with our bodies necessarily, you know. But the mentality in society now is more so that it's almost the other way around. It's almost like if you have children young, it's almost kind of like, oh God, well, like that's not good, you know. They're probably not maybe financially as good or as have as much life experience. And now it's almost seen as the better thing to be older. Like that's almost like the wiser thing. But I don't think I agree with that. And obviously so much of this is outside of our control, right? Like no one can, you know, just magically whip up the perfect partner, perfect relationship and have a baby straight away. And like you have to, it's everything's, you know, anything can happen. And, you know, it's, you could also be 26 and struggle to conceive. There's no like, you know, it's such a, you know, there's no statement for any of this. But I just think, I just don't agree with the fact that society is telling women that they have more and more time. If you actually go to like, I haven't been to a fertility specialist, so I can't really say, but from these podcasts and stuff that I've watched of doctors and fertility specialists talking about this stuff, they're saying exactly this. Like society is telling women that they have more time, but biologically, like we don't. You know, it's interesting. It's just like a really interesting thing that I've thought about. Maybe it's an unpopular opinion, but I think that at the end of the day, like our bodies are our bodies. There still is a biological clock, but I think that society now wants to like pretend that that's not really a thing anymore, or you know that that's not there. But like science is showing that it is there. So yeah, I don't know. It's just interesting, but I just think that mentality is changing so much around the age, like that, you know, is best to have a child. Okay, so this one is again controversial. I just don't even know where to start with it. I'm scared to even say it. Okay, this one is very nuanced, and I'm not saying that I believe in this. Like, it's kind of like the prison one, you know. I don't have an answer for how it would work, but I just feel this way inside. And that is that the world should be like a free roam, you know? Like, there should be no barriers to countries or, you know, passports, oh, a weak passport or a strong passport, or I just feel like everyone should be able to go wherever they want in the world. Again, obviously, laws and regulations and immigration and all this stuff is there for reasons and it's all valid. But in my innocent mind, I just wish the world could all be like a free zone and anyone can go anywhere they want in the world and just have like ultimate freedom, and like that there's no discriminating, there's no differentiating between races or, you know, anything. It's just everyone is a free global citizen of the world, and that sounds like the ideal life. Of course, that would not actually be in reality ever going well, but in my mind, I'm just like that seems like the human logical thing. Like, from when I think about it, I'm like, why are we so segregated as a world? You know, we're just one planet in this insane cosmos. I don't know. In this insane world, you know, we're so tiny. It's just us. As far as we know right now, it's just us in this world, on this planet, in this insane infinity of nothingness and galaxies and I don't know what I'm saying. But you know what I mean? So considering that, it just seems kind of crazy that there's all of these restrictions for humans. And obviously they exist for a reason. Do you know? We get it. But and then on the other hand, it's obviously normal for humans to want something that's like theirs, you know, their country, their people, you know, that is intrinsically a human emotion as well and behavior. So again, I don't have the answer. I just, in my mind, I just feel like it's kind of wild that in 2025, like, you can't just go to this place. You can't just go there for a holiday. You have to get visas and you have to, I don't know. I just, maybe it's because of my relationship as well. Like, once you're in a relationship with someone from another country, you see all of these obstacles and legalities and difficult things, like how difficult it just is to like literally just be with someone you love. So I think when you're in that dynamic, it makes it hard to understand. Like, it just seems crazy, you know, when you break it down. Like, I just want to be with this person and I can't easily be with them. So it's, I think that has definitely influenced my opinion on it. But again, I don't have an answer on like how that would work, or it obviously would not work in theory, but that just seems like the right thing to me, that we are all just human and can go anywhere and be free. And I think when you think about the world, like, it's actually, we're all very restricted in life. I don't know. Yeah, anyway, I think I could talk about this one for ages, so I'm just going to leave it there. You get what I mean anyway. We should all be free. And this last one is just kind of like a not very serious one, but it's that, like, this, there seems to be this ingrained idea that, like, within women, with, you know, women are people who gossip and they enjoy like gossiping about people or things or whatever, and that it's kind of like a normal womanly trait, I think, is what the world tells us. I think that for me, I just don't agree with this. I don't get it. Of course, I'm not sitting here, Nicola, patron saint of Ireland. Like, of course I've gossiped. Of course I've, you know, partaken in making fun of people or being, you know, talking about people or being, you know, not nice towards people maybe behind their back. Of course you know, we've all done that at different points in our life, but the older I get, I'm just kind of like, why do we do that? You know, like, what's actually behind that? Why are we doing that? You know? And I will say I'm never the initiator of that. It's usually kind of more so, I guess, depending on who you surround yourself with, and everyone's different kinds of people. But by nature, I'm not at all like a gossipy person. No, I'm not a bitchy person, and I actually always am for the underdogs. I cannot stand people that like point fun or make fun or low-key bullying people, you know, about something about that person like behind their back. It actually just makes me angry. I think because I know what it's like to feel like you're different or like you know, misunderstood, or you know, I relate to that feeling. So when I see people or hear people making fun or bitching or like being unkind about someone, I just feel like annoyed. I just want to instantly stand up for them and defend them. And like I said, I have partaken in that. I'm not sitting here saying that I'm some very different person, but as I'm getting older, I'm realizing like, actually, hang on, like I don't want to do that. Like when you're younger, you just partake in it because you want to fit in and you want to, you know, when you're in like school, you want to, you know, be friends with them, or you want to fit in, you know, you want to be liked, so you do that stuff. In 2025, I am not like partaking in that kind of stuff. I don't agree with being unkind to other people because it's just literally a waste of time. It does not make me feel good about myself. If any, it makes me feel bad because I know that I'm not even that way inclined by myself. And yeah, I just think it's like this weird accepted thing that like, well, women gossip and they talk like that and that's normal for women, but like it's not normal actually. I have better things to do with my time, to be quite frank. So I think that it's just so interesting. I don't know. I think the older I get as well, I'm realizing like like how I am is more towards that of like a male. I express myself more in probably the way like a man does in that sense. I don't know. And as I mentioned, I think the older I become, I'm just becoming like really, really empathetic. Like I just even if like other people are talking like that about someone, I almost feel like I'm them. You know, I feel like I'm that person that they're talking about because I feel horrible. I'm like it's ugly. It's like ugly behavior, and I don't want to be in that, you know. I don't want to be that kind of person, and I think that not that it's like unpopular, like many people obviously wouldn't want to, but I think that it's kind of like this accepted thing in female friend groups. Thank God I don't have any like group of female friends. Sorry, all my friends are female, but I don't have this like group of females where we all sit around and bitch about people, you know. And I like I'm grateful for that because I just I would not be able to be friends with those people. That's what I mean. It's almost like a normal thing, you know. Women sit around gossiping about other people and other people's lives, and I'm just like I don't get that. I don't want to do that. Thank you. If that makes me a man, then I will be a man every day. Okay guys, that was it for my unpopular opinions. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any controversial or unpopular opinions, do let me know in the comments. I would love to hear about other people's. I'm pretty sure I have loads of other unpopular opinions, but I think these were the main ones that were the most interesting to mention. So yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please do like and subscribe, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.